Coach Adam Fossett Show brought to you by the B.B. Calmer Alumni Association. And, Coach, you followed a young man from Winterboro who's got 2 crawfish for pets. How can you top that?
I don't know if I can top that. I watched that from out there, and I can't do that. I got 2 dogs and a recently acquired kitten. So.
Oh, did you just show up or?
No, my wife went and got it.
Okay. Well, hey, big game tomorrow night. Second round matchup against Highland Home, the Flying Squadron, and a team you played last year in the semis and handled them pretty easily. Before we get to that game, talking about pretty easy, you got out to a 42-0 lead in the first quarter last week, and that was an easy game for you, appeared to be anyway.
Yeah, it was. We came out fast and played well early. Played on a short field, so we were able to get stops and play on a short field early and score quick. So, it was just one of those games where everything went right early for us. And
Washington County, a very young football team too.
Yeah, that's the other thing. They're a young team, new coach. This was their first trip to the playoffs since 2016. So, I talked to their coach after the game, and he was impressed with our guys and impressed with the facilities and all that good stuff. So, but he commended us on just our not only how we played, but the sportsmanship and things like that. So that means a lot as a coach when coaches do notice that part of our guys. So, but man, I challenged them to score 20 in the first quarter, and they doubled up on me. So
they showed you.
They did. They proved me wrong. So. But yeah, just played well. Defensively, we played well and
shutout.
Got the shutout and was able to do a couple different things and get some guys some reps. So that's key.
We keep talking about that, but I'm telling you, and you know this better than I by a long shot. It pays off, doesn't it?
Yeah, it will. It'll definitely pay off to get those younger guys some reps for the future. And we have guys now that we're not even thought of being in the game plan on Fridays, first part of the year. That
wasn't even a bleep on the radar.
Right, we're throwing them in the mix now, and they're getting significant snaps based on what we've seen them do on film earlier in the season. So, got to move forward. Got a big one coming this Friday. So. We're 1-0 now, and got to move on to the next one.
Well, there's a possibility of 5. We've got 1 under our belt. Easy win over Washington County, 49-0, and it was over early last week, and it was a rainy night at Legion Stadium, and got to play a lot of kids. And in the second half, most people will just say, well, let's just get this over with and not get anybody hurt.
Yeah, second half, we ended up playing 8-minute running clock quarters, and it just worked out well for everybody. The coaches have to agree on that. I've had a ton of people ask, how does that work? And the coaches agree on it, and the officials talk about it, and so it was the best thing for both teams, obviously. And
I heard somebody say this week. Said one thing I like about Coach Fossett, he don't try to embarrass other teams.
Yeah, I'm not going to run it up. I'm not gonna put up a ton of points.
And you could have.
And we could have. Yeah, we did. And there were some things that we had to work on. And like I told our coaches, I said, especially offensively, you better work on it now, because they know, they've been with me long enough to know that we're gonna pull the reins back a little bit and get some other guys some reps, because it's just not. I've been beat 66-0. It's no fun. So, and the coaching thing is there's gonna be a coach come across this and say, well, it's my job to run plays and your job to stop me. Well, sometimes teams don't have that ability.
Right.
Sometimes they just don't have the power to do so. And Washington County was a lot like that, because they are young, So
they were playing some 8th graders,
yeah.
not just one, but several 8th graders.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's what you have to understand too, is that there's teams, and even looking at us back 6 years ago, man, we weren't in a good place 6 years ago. So, man, I have a lot of respect for coaches that do things the right way.
You remember, Coach, when y'all were on homecoming for everybody.
Exactly. I have appreciation for those guys that do things the right way, and especially younger coaches that are doing things the right way. And and just talking to Coach Carpenter from Washington County, he's class act, and he's trying to build that program and do things the right way. So, you know, we're not, we can't carry the points over to the following week, so there's no need in scoring 80 points. You know, if we want to break the season scoring record, we just need to keep winning football games.
Yeah, Harris didn't get many touches, but when he did something with the football.
Yeah, he's, you know, I was telling somebody the other day, he's probably blossomed more this year than any other year in the past, and that says a lot for somebody that has done so much.
Explain that.
In the past, because this year hasn't been like it's not about him, and he's not worried about stats. He's not worried about his selflessness has been huge. So and even in the recent games, you know, a couple games. Fayetteville game, we told him and Devin, we told the skill guys, and you know, you line up wherever you want and run whatever you want. And we did that for a couple series, and you know, he lined up at quarterback. Well, he could have easily just taken a snap and took off and you know, worked on his stats, but you know, he's throwing the ball up to Devin, he's handing the ball off, he's doing a bunch of different things. So his selflessness is really what's made the team roll this year, because it hasn't been about garnering those stats.
Every time in the first quarter, first half especially, when B.B. Comer's on defense, there's 51. He's all over the field.
Yeah, Chris Wilson's one of those guys that's on a mission, and he's, you know, you get guys you get some guys in that senior lull sometimes, and Chris is one of those guys that's on a mission, and he still has a lot to prove, and him and I talk about that periodically, because he's a great athlete. He's a guy that should be garnering so much more just than he is based on colleges and things like that. And it's gotten to the point now where I tell college coaches, like, you know, I don't understand what you see compared to what we see, but I think you're absolutely foolish for not even offering the guy.
The Flying Squadron in town tomorrow night. Again, we mentioned that B.B. Comer played them and beat them handily in the playoffs in the semifinal round last year, and I understand they've got several players that have already committed to major universities to play next year.
Yeah, obviously, Jacaleb Falk, who his brother was at Highland Home last year, he's at Auburn this year. Playing, and he's actually, you know, getting some significant playing time. So he's a junior that will be going. He's committed to Auburn. C.J. May is he's committed to Notre Dame. Falk is an outside linebacker. He kind of plays all over the place, but mainly outside linebacker. And then C.J. May is an edge rusher. Both of them played last year too. So, but they also have other guys. They've got. Their quarterback is probably one of the tougher kids that I've seen, and he's physically and mentally he's tough.
He's a big guy or what?
He's not overly big. He's probably 5'10", 190 pounds, but he'll take a licking and keep on kicking. I mean, I've seen him. I saw him in the Reeltown game. Man, he just got hit and got hit and got hit, and he'll tuck the ball and take off running and makes good decisions with the ball. So. He's tough. Running back number 2 is a hard runner. Runs really well. Runs behind his pads, and they've got a couple D linemen. The Duet kid, who actually leads 2A in sacks. So a lot of people have put so much emphasis on protecting the other side with CJ over there that. The Duet kid has been able to garner some one-on-ones and get some sacks. So, you know, it's a completely different year and a completely different team for them and for us. So, you know, talking about the points and carrying over, the points from last year don't carry over either. So, you know, you're starting out 0-0, and you know, for us, it's all about preparation and. Making sure that, you know, we've had 4 days to prepare and we prepare and
you said it's been a long
get
week.
Ready to go. It has been a long week. Yeah, it's been a long week and not necessarily for that. It's just a lot of logistical things that you have to get done. A lot of hours spent, you know, figuring out pregame meals, and you have to make sure the officials know where to go, because you got the state assigns officials, and you have guys that haven't been here, so you got to contact them and get them
So
directions on where to go.
It's not coaching football, is it?
Yeah, it's. And then you're breaking down film and looking at the opponent. You're watching practice film. You're critiquing it. So it's just been a long week in that aspect. So, but it's playoff football. It's something that's expected. It's funny. Our older guys at practice, like, they know practice is going to be a little bit longer, and the young guys are like, they're looking up at the sky. Number one, the time has changed, but two, it's getting dark. We practiced at the stadium some this week and had the lights there. Monday we practiced at our field over at the baseball field and turned the lights on. And excuse me, they're all looking around like, hey, it's dark. It's got to be like 9 o'clock. And no, it's only 6 o'clock. So, but yeah, preparation is going to be important, and just kind of getting those guys ready. And
so. Looking at the tape of Highland Home, what concerns you about their defense? Because your offense is very, very potent.
Well, defensively, if you look at numbers, we've given up about the same amount of points this season. So both defenses are pretty stingy. Mm-hmm. So for us defensively, they get to the ball, they fly around. And they're able to do some things with their guys that put you in bad predicaments. So they're able to move some guys around. They're able to kind of throw in some different looks. Jacaleb Falk, he may line up at defensive end some and rush off the edge. He may line up at inside linebacker. So you've got to know where those guys are at all times. Number 3, the quarterback also plays safety, and he'll come downhill and hit you. So, and they've got some guys that can move too. Their corners, 12, he can fly, and he's all over the place. Even if we get a catch, he's gonna come across the field and make a tackle, because he's fast enough to get there.
Wow. Coach Adam Fossett, head football coach and athletic director of the B.B. Comer Tigers. 7 o'clock kick tomorrow night against Highland Home. Let's look at the brackets before we go this morning. And you guys play Highland Home. The winner of this game will, I know you guys will be traveling next week, either to Clark County or to Goshen.
Yeah, if we're able to win this one, we'll travel to Clark County or Goshen. I think the Clark County-Goshen matchup is an interesting matchup. Just Clark County had a very tough non-region schedule, and then won their region. And then Goshen started a little bit slow, and they've played really, really well in the past. So Goshen and Highland Home are in the same region. So we've kind of seen some film on them as well, and should be 2 good football games in this part of the bracket.
I noticed last Friday night people lined up getting to the stadium and looking to get in and get tickets. How does that work?
Yeah, our gates open at 5:30, and it's GoFan for all our side gates. The main gate up by the concession stand on the home side is cash, and we need as many people there as we can. So
it'll be a great night for football.
Yeah, it should be a great night for football. Man, we need anybody and everybody to come out and support us and bring some noise, because our guys really feed off of that. And I think we have one of the better atmospheres in high school football, especially at the 2A level. So if you haven't been to a game, come check it out, because the atmosphere is pretty cool, and it's usually a very entertaining night and a loud night. So we're ready to go.
I got to ask you this. I had slipped my mind, but someone made sure to remind me of ask Coach Adam Fossett on the Coach's Corner why we're not getting number 23 more involved in the offense. It seems like he's lining up at quarterback, he's lining up at split end, and I said, well, one thing is they've got a lot of different athletes they can go to.
Yeah, we have a ton of different athletes that we can go to, and if you're on the other side of the ball and you're trying to figure out where he is and he's lining up all over the place, that makes it a lot tougher for you to prepare.
All right, no doubt. Coach Adam Fossett, head football coach and athletic director at B.B. Comer. Kick tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, Legion Stadium, Highland Home, the Flying Squadron. Coach Adam Fossett Show brought to you by the B.B. Calmer Alumni Association. More Daybreak just ahead.